Everything I say in this video are my own thoughts and opinions. You should look into the information for yourselves. Any photos or articles used have been pulled from the public domain or from social media, and I'm using them under the Fair Use and Fair Dealings guidelines.
Hello everybody, it's the Duchess of Monty Shit Show here. How are you all doing today? I hope you're well. It's Sunday the 1st of May, and I thought I'd do another Sunday Roundup where I take a look at some of the stories that have appeared within the British media this week that you may not have seen, and add my own tuppence to them. That means adding my own thoughts and opinions, in case you're not familiar with that phrase. So as Lady C often says, let's plunge right in. Now, the first cab off the rank is this story, taken from the Express. It's titled Princess Eugenie Makes Announcement as Royal Follows in Meghan and Harry's Footsteps. Well, I'm surprised, but not surprised if that makes any sense. Eugenie does indeed use Instagram and occasionally posts pretty standard things about herself, her husband, Jack Brooksbank, baby August, and sometimes Beatrice. But she's never really gone much beyond that in terms of social media. Definitely nothing controversial anyway. I mean, when was the last time, or even the first time, you can recall her being interviewed on Ellen or on any other programme? She doesn't particularly put herself out there in a way that certain other ex-royals continually do. No backgrid pap shots that I'm aware of, and no podcasts. Until now, that is. You'd think she'd be busy enough with being a wife, a relatively new mum, a director at Hauser and Worth Art Gallery in London, and co-founder of the Anti-Slavery Collective charity. But no, it seems Princess Eugenie wants a piece of the Spotify pie, seeing how her cousin Harry and his wife are doing so well on the podcast scene. Yes, that is sarcasm. Is this Harry and Meghan's influence, perhaps? Yes, I believe it to be. Perhaps this is actually what was discussed over that meal in Santa Barbara, and maybe Eugenie isn't a mole as we've all assumed. Have we all got it wrong about her, and has she been unfairly persecuted? Who knows? Time will tell on that one, but for now I can say, personally, that I don't entirely trust her. And will I be listening to her podcast? Absolutely not. Just like I won't be with Meghan either. I would much rather have a weekend of sitting in the dentist's chair than listen to anything that those privileged, entitled people have to say. This next article again comes from the Daily Express and is titled Harry and Meghan Stunned by Shut Door as William's Trust Damaged. Now, I did post about this on my YouTube community feed earlier this week, and plenty of you had your say, and believe you me, some of you didn't hold back. I'll leave the link in the description box if you wish to view this article in its entirety. So the Balding Borlake and his missus are stunned, are they? A little bit confused as to why Prince William is a tad grouchy with them, maybe? Well, boo-hoo, cry me a river, no one cares. After everything they've done, both as a couple and as individuals towards the royal family, giving these trashy television interviews, speaking out against the monarchy, lying, painting false narratives. Not only that, but deliberately timing these lies and publicity stunts to upstage and overshadow important royal events, occasions and celebrations. You cannot then wonder why your family are disgusted with you and no longer trust you. If this article is anywhere close to being accurate, and they are stunned, it just goes to show that they're in their own little world over in Monty Shit Show, and it's so far removed from reality and from the rest of the real world. Very tone deaf. William is clearly thinking ahead to his own time as the reigning monarch, something that I wish Charles would do, to be honest. No offence to the man, he will be our king one of these days, sadly, but I view him as rather weak-willed when it comes to Harry, and when Charles's time comes, I'm not confident he won't try and find a way to sneak Harry back into royal life, and possibly Meghan too, if they're still together at that point. Whereas William is much more savvy and is definitely a lot wiser as to their tricks and games, and is definitely not prepared to put up with any nonsense from the pair of them. I'm so glad William was born first. Now, this next article, I don't think I can credit the source or post a link, as it was taken from a Facebook group. If I do find a link to it, I will be sure to put it in the description box below. It's entitled Royal Author Questions If Prince Harry Should Keep Royal Titles. Nobody has ever asked anyone in Sussex. And to the best of my knowledge, that's true. They haven't. Never has anyone come to my door to ask for my opinion. I have never been stopped in the street with somebody with a clipboard asking for my opinion, nor have I ever seen any of our local MPs lobbying on our behalf to have the titles of Duke and Duchess of Sussex removed and put into abeyance. I'm not the only YouTuber from Sussex. According to Taz and our very own Lady C, who I've met on a couple of occasions, live in Sussex, and I think I'm right in saying that Ems from the Tea and Therapy channel lives around here as well. Now, I cannot obviously speak for them, but the fact that our beautiful county's name is forever linked to two duplicitous, lying, lazy little grifters is a constant source of irritation to me. As I've said before in previous videos, they visited our great county just once, around 4 months after getting married, and stayed here for approximately 4 hours total, visiting a few of the bigger towns. 3 hours actually, if you don't count the travelling time. Then that was it, and they were never to be seen again. Yet they still insist on merching and profiting off the back of the Sussex name. The times people have said to me, if you don't like it, do something about it. Just write to your MP or start a petition. Well, yeah, but the truth is, if it was really that easy to do, we would have done it by now. The reality is that we are simply overlooked and we're not being listened to. So unless the Queen and Parliament set the wheels in motion to get the titles in abeyance, I don't think the residents of neither East or West Sussex stand much of a chance. Right, moving on. This next article is again from the Daily Express and is titled Prince Harry in much better spot than Meghan Markle. Nothing is going anywhere for her. Now, royal biographer Tina Brown recently revealed within her new book, The Palace Papers, that the Duchess of Sussex does not have a brand and is going nowhere. Ouch. She also suggests that Harry should just focus on the Invictus Games and make that his brand and leave royal life far behind, and that Meghan is just purely grasping whatever the public is talking about on Twitter. Well, I think to a large extent that's true. I mean, she has had some relatively small success as a cable TV actress on Suits, and then she had her lifestyle blog, The Tig, which, to be honest, was almost a direct rip-off of Gwyneth Paltrow's highly successful venture, Goop, but came nowhere even close to recreating the same following or success that Gwyneth Paltrow has. Nothing Meghan has done in recent years has had any real focus, commitment, or longevity to it. I often think with her it's a case of throwing a bunch of spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks. If it's not her sticking her nose in with regards to vaccinations, Ukraine, or women's rights, it's the bench, or the 40x40 initiative for her birthday in August last year. The last two ideas both found to have been plagiarised in some way or another, or taken from other people, and both ideas not going particularly well or being overly successful. Indeed, it was revealed that Meghan actually purchased around 70% of the copies of her own book and was giving them out free to the children in Harlem, and was also donating them to classrooms and public libraries. Then there's her 40x40 initiative, that cringy video with Melissa McCarthy, which, let's not forget, was actually used to make sly digs at Her Majesty and our British customs. And Harry outside the window juggling his balls. Well, that never really went anywhere either, did it? When was the last time you read an article or heard stories from the people that have been helped? I'll wait. Another strand of spaghetti Meghan has thrown to the Monty Shitshow Mansion wall includes jumping on the paid leave for all bandwagon. Something else that you no longer hear about. And you can most probably add her podcasts onto that list as well, given that her first foray into the world of podcasting resulted in just one 25-minute episode in which she barely even spoke and filled the time with co-hosts including Elton John and James Corden. The first episode of her new solo venture into podcasting, simply known as Meghan, or archetypes, I'm not sure if I can say that, has it been trademarked yet? Is due to be released sometime in June. Call me cynical, my guess would be it's going to be released in or around the first week of June or so, to coincide with Her Majesty's Platinum Jubilee celebrations, because we all know how Meghan likes to make things all about her and overshadow anything that the royals do. The new podcast has already been surrounded in controversy, with all the nonsense about her wanting to trademark the word archetypes, and recent reports that her podcast will be directed by and very heavily edited by Spotify. Now, given that she is someone who does not like to be silenced or have her voice compromised in any way, shape, or form, I can't imagine this is going down too well with her. I also can't imagine her podcast having any long-term future. Moving on. This next article about Prince Andrew has been taken from the Sun newspaper this time, and talks about Prince Andrew arriving to his granddaughter Sienna Mapelli Mozzi's christening at St James's Palace in a £220,000 Bentley car with personalised number plate. Now, I'm not going to spend too long at all dwelling on this article. I don't know what the Sun was trying to achieve with this caption. Andrew may have been forced to retire from public life, but the bottom line is that he is still the Queen's son, and he is also Sienna's grandfather. Whatever you may think or feel about the man or his activities, he has every right to be at that christening, as it was his granddaughter's christening, for heaven's sake. A personal family event and not a televised event for the public. Some people I have seen commenting on various royal forums this week seem to have an issue with separating the two. As for the car, a Prince of the United Kingdom was hardly going to turn up in a rusty, trusty, beaten-up Ford Sierra, was he? So whatever they were trying to achieve with that line, it's all a huge nothing burger. I can imagine it may have ruffled a few feathers over in Monty Shit Show, as so far their requests for Invisibet to be baptised within St George's Chapel in Windsor have so far been met with a huge big dollop of nope. Now, the next thing to talk about has again been taken from the Sun Online, and sees royal expert Richard Eden stating that Harry and Meghan are simply loving the speculation surrounding them and the Queen's Platinum Jubilee, i.e., will they go, won't they go, will they or won't they be on the balcony? Now, I think it's pretty obvious to all by now that Harry and Meghan most likely will not be present at the Queen's Jubilee. Certainly not Meghan anyway. But according to Mr. Eden, they will be loving the continued speculation and doing all they can to fuel it and keep it going right up to the very day of the event. Attention is attention, whether positive or negative, and this is what they are loving and thriving off. They are addicted to the drama as it keeps their names on everyone's lips and threatens to potentially overshadow this important and historic occasion for Her Majesty and the British nation. I do have to ask, does anybody actually care anymore? I'm pretty burned out by this whole situation. Am I wrong? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments section. Now, the final article I spotted in the news today is a rather cute and cheerful one to end this video on, and it seems that primary school children throughout the United Kingdom will be given a free book as a keepsake to mark the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. The book, called Queen Elizabeth, A Platinum Jubilee Celebration, is very sweetly illustrated and has a cute family tree of all the royals past and present, which even includes Archie and Invisibet Mountbatten Windsor. Archie being depicted as having a shock of bright ginger hair and Invisibet having more mousy brown hair. The book includes famous quotes said by Queen Elizabeth, as well as providing information on the lives of significant figures within the Commonwealth, such as Nelson Mandela. It also includes facts on the coronation ceremony and provides information on the more notable kings and queens of the past. The British government is hoping that the book will help children to understand how the four nations of England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland came together as one united kingdom. What an absolutely wonderful idea! I really wish something like this had been around when I was at school and even when my children have been at school. Whilst we are taught in our history lessons about kings and queens from the past, usually only King Henry VIII, his daughter Queen Elizabeth I, and even Queen Victoria, we rarely get to read or learn anything about Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, her life and her legacy. So it's reassuring to know that the future generations will get to read and learn about her, especially in the aftermath of her death, and all her years of devoted service to her country, the United Kingdom, and the Commonwealth will not be forgotten. Well, that's it for now. Please do feel free to comment any of your thoughts or opinions down below on any of these articles. Find the links to these articles in the description box so that you can look at them for yourselves if you wish. And with that, I will see you all in the next video. Bye for now!